Alexis Chen hadn't felt anything in years, not until Maya Santos walked through those doors. Her childhood best friend. The girl she'd loved since age 9. 10 years ago, Alexis had been Lily, overweight, bullied, unrecognizable now after her complete transformation. Maya's eyes swept past her like a stranger, and Alexis's heart shattered. The girl who once knew everything about her now saw nothing at all. Before we begin, this is the story of two childhood best friends separated by distance. One transformed so completely, physically and emotionally, that when they reunited years later, she wasn't recognized. This is their love story. Asterisk welcome to GL Love Stories, besties. Please like, share, and subscribe. Asterisk. Alexis stood frozen in the administrative hallway of Hartwell Academy, the most prestigious boarding school on the East Coast. Her fingers clenched around the tablet she carried. She was student council president, daughter of tech billionaire Robert Chin, feared and respected by every student here. Nothing ever shook her. Until now. Maya Santos stepped through the arched entrance with a duffel bag over her shoulder, honey brown hair catching the afternoon light. She looked exactly the same as she had at 9 years old. Those warm hazel eyes, that gentle smile, the way she tucked hair behind her left ear when she was nervous. Alexis's chest tightened painfully. She doesn't recognize me. Of course she doesn't. I look nothing like I used to. The chubby girl with thick glasses and braces that Maya had left behind was gone. Alexis had made sure of that. The next morning, Alexis watched from the second-floor balcony as Maya navigated the courtyard below, clearly lost. Maya's gaze lifted, meeting Alexis's for one suspended moment. Nothing. No recognition. No spark of memory. Alexis turned away, catching her reflection in a nearby window. She barely recognized herself sometimes. At 9 years old, she'd been Lily Chin, her family's nickname for her. Overweight, awkward, bullied constantly. Then Maya had moved away and everything fell apart. Her parents divorced. Her mother spiraled. The bullying got worse. Until 13-year-old Alexis decided to become someone else entirely. Someone untouchable. She lost weight, got contacts, fixed her teeth, and started using her English name exclusively. By the time she arrived at Hartwell at 14, no one knew who she used to be. Not even, apparently, her first love. Later that day, Alexis's best friend Victoria cornered her outside advanced calculus. Who's the new girl? Everyone's talking about her. Transfer student. Maya Santos. From Oregon. The words tasted bitter. You know her. I used to. A long time ago. She doesn't remember me. Victoria's eyes widened. Wait, is she the childhood best friend you told me about? The one who moved away? Alexis nodded stiffly. Does she know it's you? No, and I'm not telling her. That evening, the principal made an announcement during mandatory assembly that made Alexis's blood run cold. We're implementing a new peer mentorship program. Student council members will guide new students through their first month. The principal consulted her notes. Alexis Chin, you'll mentor Maya Santos. 3 rows ahead. Maya turned to look at her, offering a tentative, polite smile. The smile of someone meeting a stranger. Alexis forced herself to nod back, her heart breaking all over again. The next morning, Maya knocked on the student council office door right at 7 a.m. Alexis had been awake since 5, preparing herself emotionally. Come in. Maya entered, and Alexis caught the faint scent of jasmine, her mother's garden. We used to play there every weekend. Hi, I'm Maya Santos. You're my mentor, right? Hearing Maya introduce herself, as if they'd never met, never been inseparable, never promised to be best friends forever, physically hurt. Alexis Chen. She kept her voice cold, professional. Sit down. I'll review your schedule and give you a campus tour tomorrow. Don't be late. Any questions? Maya blinked, clearly taken aback by the coldness. No. Thank you. Good. Dismissed. After Maya left, Alexis put her head in her hands and let herself feel the pain she'd been holding back. That night, Alexis couldn't sleep. Her roommate had gone home for the weekend, leaving her alone with memories. 10 years ago, she and Maya had been inseparable. They lived 2 streets apart, spent every day together, made elaborate plans for their future. Then Maya's dad got transferred to Oregon. Maya had promised to write, to call, to visit. For the first 3 months, letters came regularly. Alexis wrote back to Maya's Oregon address every week, pouring her heart out. Then the letter stopped. Alexis kept writing for another 6 months. Every letter came back marked, return to sender. She tried calling. The number was disconnected. Maya had vanished from her life, completely. 13-year-old Alexis convinced herself that Maya had forgotten her, had found better friends, and had never really cared at all. The pain of that abandonment, combined with the bullying at school and her parents' divorce, nearly destroyed her. So she'd rebuilt herself into someone who couldn't be hurt anymore. Someone Maya apparently couldn't even recognize. The next morning, Alexis led Maya through campus with military precision, pointing out buildings, explaining rules, keeping everything strictly professional. Maya tried several times to make conversation. So, where are you from originally? Here. Pay attention. This is the science building. Have you always gone to Hartwell? Since freshman year. The library is to your left. Do you like it here? That's irrelevant to your orientation. Focus, please. After an hour of Alexis's ice-cold responses, Maya finally fell silent. The hurt on her face made Alexis hate herself, but she didn't know how else to protect her heart. By the end of the week, Maya had made friends and integrated into Hartwell's social scene. She joined the art club, of course she had, she'd always loved painting, and caught the attention of Blake Morrison. Blake was the lacrosse team captain, daughter of senator, and notorious for breaking hearts. Alexis watched Blake flirt with Maya at lunch, leaning close, making her laugh. Something dark and possessive coiled in Alexis's chest. I have no right to be jealous, she told herself. I pushed her away, but the jealousy burned anyway. That evening, Alexis found herself walking past the art studio, definitely not because Maya had mentioned working there tonight. Through the glass door, she saw Maya alone painting. The image on the canvas stopped Alexis's heart. Two little girls holding hands, silhouetted against the sunset. One chubby and small, one slightly taller, both laughing. Before she could stop herself, Alexis pushed the door open. What is that? Maya startled, spinning around with wide eyes. God, you scared me. She pressed a hand to her chest, then looked at the painting with soft, sad eyes. Just a memory. My childhood best friend. We were separated when I was 9. Do you remember her? The words escaped before Alexis could stop them. Every single day. Maya's voice went thick with emotion. Her name was Lily. She was the kindest, sweetest, bravest person I ever knew. I tried so hard to keep in touch after I moved, but what? My letters all came back. The phone number didn't work. I thought maybe she'd moved, or... Maya's eyes glistened with unshed tears. Or maybe she didn't want to hear from me anymore. The world tilted beneath Alexis's feet. What do you mean your letters came back? Return to sender. Every single one after the first 3 months. Maya wiped her eyes. I wrote to her for almost a year before I finally gave up. I was 10 years old and heartbroken. I thought I'd done something wrong, that she hated me. Alexis felt like she couldn't breathe. You kept writing? Of course I did. I loved her. She was my best friend. Maya laughed bitterly. I know that sounds dramatic for a 9-year-old, but it's true. I've never connected with anyone the way I connected with Lily. I think about her all the time. Wonder where she is, if she's okay, if she even remembers me. I'm sure she remembers you, Alexis whispered. A few days later, Alexis pulled property records from the county archives. Maya's old house, the one Alexis had been writing to, had been foreclosed on 12 years ago, right around when Maya's family moved. The new owners had probably thrown away all the forwarding mail. And Alexis's own house, the one Maya had been writing to, had also been sold during her parents' divorce. The letters would have gone to an empty house, then been returned to the sender. They'd both been writing to abandoned homes. Neither of them had stopped caring. They'd just lost each other to bad timing and worse luck. The realization made Alexis want to scream. Later that night, Alexis went to the library to think and found Maya there with Blake. Blake sat way too close, hand resting possessively on Maya's chair, explaining chemistry homework with unnecessary touches. Something in Alexis snapped. Maya, we need to discuss your academic placement. Her voice cut through the quiet library like a knife. Blake looked up, annoyed. We're kind of in the middle of something. I wasn't speaking to you. Alexis's gaze could have cut glass. Maya, now please. Maya stood, confused. I'll see you later, Blake. Yeah, sure. Blake's expression darkened. Outside the library, Maya turned to Alexis with obvious frustration. What was that about? You've barely acknowledged my existence for 2 weeks, and now you're interrupting my study session. Blake Morrison has a girlfriend at Pemberton Academy. She's using you. Maya's eyes widened. What? She said she was single. She lies. She does this every semester. Finds a new girl, leads her on, breaks her heart when she gets bored. Alexis stepped closer, her protective instincts overriding her common sense. Stay away from her. She'll hurt you. Why do you even care? Maya's voice broke. You've made it crystal clear you want nothing to do with me. Because I love you. Because I've loved you since we were 9. Because watching someone else touch you makes me want to break things. Because you're my mentee, Alexis said instead. And I take that responsibility seriously. Maya stared at her for a long moment, something unreadable flickering in her eyes. You're lying. There's something else. I feel like... She shook her head. Never mind. Thank you for the warning. She walked away, and Alexis let her go, even though everything in her screamed to call her back. The next morning, Alexis watched from her window as Blake approached Maya in the courtyard. Whatever Blake said, Maya shook her head firmly and walked away. Blake's expression went ugly. Alexis felt satisfaction mixed with dread. Blake didn't handle rejection well. In economics class, Victoria leaned over. "You're in love with her. The new girl, Maya." "That's ridiculous." "Please, you've been obsessed since she arrived. You watch her constantly. You intervened when Blake was flirting with her. You're clearly jealous." "I'm not jealous. I'm protective. There's a difference." "Yeah? What are you protecting her from? Or are you just protecting yourself from admitting how you feel?" Alexis's pen snapped between her fingers. She didn't answer because Victoria was right. That evening, Alexis finally let herself admit the truth. She'd spent 4 years transforming her body, her image, her entire identity. But she'd never transformed her heart. She was still the 9-year-old girl who'd loved Maya Santos more than anything, and she had no idea what to do about it. A few days later, Autumn Gala Night arrived, Hartwell's biggest social event of the semester. Alexis wore a tailored black suit that cost more than most cars. Her father expected her to network, to charm donors, to represent the Chin family name perfectly. She went through the motions, shaking hands, making small talk, hating every minute. Then Maya walked in. She wore a simple green dress that probably came from a department store. No expensive jewelry or designer labels. She looked absolutely beautiful. Alexis forgot how to breathe. Blake reached Maya first, offering champagne with a practiced smile. Maya accepted politely but kept her distance, clearly heeding Alexis's warning. Blake's hand moved to Maya's lower back anyway, possessive and presumptuous. Victoria appeared at Alexis's elbow. "You're going to let Blake corner her? Even after Maya rejected her? That's not like you." "I can't just." "Yes, you can. Stop hiding behind your walls and go talk to her." Alexis took a shaky breath and crossed the ballroom before she could lose her nerve. Later that night, Alexis found Maya alone on the terrace, looking up at the stars. Music drifted through the open French doors, muffled and distant. "Hiding?" Alexis asked softly. Maya turned, surprise softening into something warmer. "Just needed air. These events are overwhelming. They're all performances. Everyone plays the roles they think they're supposed to play." Alexis moved to stand beside her at the railing, close but not touching. "You don't belong in this world of fakery." "Neither do you." Maya's observation was gentle, but certain. "I've been watching you too, you know. When you think no one's looking, you look trapped. Sad." Alexis's defenses crumbled a little. Perceptive. "I had a best friend once who taught me to really see people, to look past what they showed the world and see who they really were underneath." Maya smiled sadly at the memory. "She was the bravest, kindest person I ever knew. Made me feel safe. Made me feel seen." "What happened to her?" Alexis asked, even though she knew. "I lost her." Maya's voice went thick. "It's the biggest regret of my life. I'd give anything to find her again, to tell her I'm sorry, to explain what happened, that I never meant to disappear, that I never stopped thinking about her." Alexis's hands tightened on the railing. Maybe she knows. Maybe she never blamed you." "I hope so." Maya turned to look at her directly. "Can I tell you something strange?" "Of course. Ever since I got here, I felt drawn to you. Even when you were cold and distant, even when you clearly didn't want me around, I felt this pull. Like I know you somehow. Like my soul recognizes yours, even though we've never met before." Alexis's heart hammered. "Maya, I know it sounds crazy, but every time you look at me, I see something in your eyes. Pain, maybe, or recognition. Like you're seeing someone else when you look at me." Alexis's voice broke. She wanted so badly to tell the truth, but terror held her back. What if Maya was disappointed? What if she couldn't reconcile the girl Alexis used to be with who she was now? Before she could answer, someone called Maya's name from inside. The moment shattered. "I should go," Maya said quietly. "But Alexis, thank you for warning me about Blake. And for this conversation. It's the most real thing I've experienced since I got here." She walked away, and Alexis stood on the terrace alone, her secret burning in her throat. The next morning, everything exploded. Alexis woke to furious pounding on her door. Victoria burst in, waving her phone. "Blake posted something. You need to see this now." On Blake's social media, visible to the entire school, old photos of Alexis from middle school. Before the transformation. Overweight, glasses, braces, looking miserable. The caption read, "Your perfect student council president used to be a fat, ugly loser. Still thinks she's better than you." Within an hour, the photos had spread everywhere. The whispers started immediately. Alexis walked to breakfast and felt every eye on her, heard the muttered comments. "Is that really her? Oh my God, she was huge. No wonder she's so uptight. She's probably starving herself. Bet she's still a loser inside." Alexis made it to the bathroom before the panic attack hit. She locked herself in a stall, struggling to breathe, fighting memories of being 13 and suicidal. Later that day, Maya found her. Alexis had skipped all her classes and hidden in her room. She didn't answer when Maya knocked, but Maya didn't leave. Alexis, please. Let me in. I know you're hurting. Go away. No. Maya's voice was firm. I'm not leaving you alone. You can talk to me or I'll sit in this hallway all night. But I'm not abandoning you. The word, abandoning, broke something in Alexis. She opened the door. Maya slipped inside immediately and saw Alexis's tear-stained face, her red eyes, her shaking hands. Without hesitation, Maya pulled her into a tight hug. I've got you, Maya whispered. I'm here. You're not alone. And Alexis, who hadn't let herself cry in years, broke down completely in Maya's arms. That night, they sat on Alexis's floor, backs against the bed, shoulders touching. Alexis had cried herself empty. Maya had just held her, steady and strong. I know what it's like, Maya finally said softly, being someone different than you used to be. When I moved away from Lily, I was so lonely and depressed I stopped eating. I got really sick. Spent 3 months in treatment for anorexia. Alexis turned to look at her, seeing shadows she'd missed before. I was hospitalized twice, Maya continued. Almost died once. My parents were terrified. It took me years to recover, to learn how to eat normally again. I still struggle sometimes when I'm stressed. I didn't know, Alexis whispered. How could you? We all have things we hide. Maya took her hand gently. But the people mocking you right now, they're showing their own weakness, not yours. You survived something hard. You transformed yourself. That takes incredible strength. You don't understand who I used to be. Then tell me, Maya interrupted gently. Tell me your story. Alexis looked at their joined hands, at Maya's face full of compassion and understanding, and made a choice. The next morning, Alexis walked into the packed dining hall with her head high. The whispers started immediately, but she ignored them. She climbed onto a chair. Can I have everyone's attention, please? The room fell silent. Hundreds of eyes fixed on her. Yes, I used to be overweight. Yes, those photos Blake posted are real. Yes, I struggled with an eating disorder during my transformation. Her voice carried clearly, steady despite her pounding heart. I'm not ashamed. I survived bullying, family trauma, and my own mental health struggles. I remade myself because I wanted to, not because I was weak. She scanned the crowd, meeting eyes directly. If you think my past makes me less than, that's your problem, not mine. I know who I am. I know what I survived. And I'm proud of every scar, every struggle, every hard-won piece of the person I've become. She stepped down to absolute silence. Then Maya started clapping. The sound echoed in the quiet room. Slowly, others joined. Within seconds, the entire dining hall erupted in applause. Later that day, the principal called an emergency meeting. Blake's actions, stealing and posting private photos, cyberbullying, violated both school policy and actual laws. Blake Morrison is expelled effective immediately, the principal announced. We have zero tolerance for this behavior. Blake's father tried to intervene, using his political connections. It didn't work. Blake was escorted off campus by security. Alexis felt no satisfaction, just exhaustion. That evening, Maya found Alexis in the student council office. You were incredible today. I was terrified. Being brave doesn't mean not being scared. It means being scared and doing it anyway. Maya sat beside her on a leather couch. Can I ask you something? Anything. Why do I feel like I've known you my entire life? Maya's eyes searched hers desperately. Every time I look at you, I feel this connection I can't explain. Like my heart recognizes you even though my brain says we just met. And the way you look at me sometimes, like you're seeing a ghost, like I'm hurting you just by existing. What am I missing? Alexis's heart raced. This was it. The moment she'd been dreading and wanting in equal measure. There's something I need to tell you, she said quietly. But I'm terrified you'll hate me for not saying it sooner. I could never hate you. Maya took her hand. Whatever it is, you can tell me. Alexis took a shaky breath. My legal name is Alexis Jin. But when I was young, my family called me by a different name. A nickname. Maya waited, patient and gentle. They called me Lily. Understanding crashed across Maya's face like a wave. Shock, disbelief, recognition dawning in her hazel eyes. Lily! The whisper was broken, awed. You're my Lily? I didn't think you'd recognize me. I look so different now. Oh my God. Maya's hands came up to cup Alexis's face, trembling. Lily, how did I not see it? Your eyes, they're the same. The way you look at me, of course. Of course it's you. Tears spilled down both their faces. I looked for you, Maya said, her voice breaking. I tried so hard to find you. When the letters came back, when the phone didn't work, I thought I'd lost you forever. You did. I lost myself too. Alexis covered Maya's hands with her own. I'm sorry I didn't tell you right away. I was angry at first, and then I was scared. Scared of what? That you'd be disappointed, that the girl you remembered was gone, and you wouldn't want this version of me. Are you kidding? Maya laughed and cried at the same time. Lily, I loved you when we were 9. I loved you when you were chubby with glasses and braces. I would have loved any version of you, because it's you. Your soul. Your heart. That never changed. You loved me. Alexis's voice came out as a whisper. I've loved you since I was old enough to know what love was. Maya's thumbs brushed away Alexis's tears. When I walked into Hartwell and felt that pull toward you, that was my heart recognizing yours before my brain caught up. I've been falling for you all over again without even knowing why. Alexis couldn't breathe, couldn't think, could only feel. I never stopped loving you, she confessed. I rebuilt my entire life, changed everything about myself, but I could never change how I felt about you. You were always there in my heart, even when I thought I'd never see you again. I'm here now. Maya's forehead pressed against hers. I found you. We found each other. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you sooner. We're telling the truth now. That's what matters. They stayed like that, forehead to forehead, breathing each other in, until Maya whispered, Can I kiss you? Alexis's answer was to close the distance between them. The kiss was soft, trembling, tasting of salt from their tears. Maya's hand slid into Alexis's hair, and Alexis wrapped her arms around Maya's waist, pulling her impossibly closer. It felt like coming home, like finding something she'd lost years ago, like every missing piece clicking into place. When they pulled apart, both breathless, Maya laughed, that beautiful laugh Alexis had mourned losing. I've been in love with you for 10 years, Maya said in wonder. Me too, Alexis whispered back. Me too. The next morning, reality crashed in hard. Alexis woke to 17 missed calls from her father and a message that made her blood run cold. I know about you and the Santos girl. We need to talk. Now. Victoria appeared at breakfast with grim news. Someone sent photos of you and Maya kissing to your father. It's all over the school gossip channels. Alexis's stomach dropped. Who? Blake's friends. Revenge for the expulsion. Later that day, Robertson arrived to Hartwell in his private car, his face carved from stone. In the principal's office, he didn't yell, he never yelled. He simply stated facts like pronouncing sentences. You will end this relationship with Maya Santos immediately. No. Alexis's voice was steady despite her racing heart. His eyebrows rose. Excuse me. I said no. I won't give her up. Then you'll give up everything else. Your inheritance, your position in my company, your trust fund, your future. His voice could have frosted glass. I will not have my daughter involved in a scandal. The board, the investors, the media. I've spent years building this empire. I won't let you destroy it for some teenage infatuation. It's not infatuation. I love her. I've loved her since I was 9 years old. You're 17. You don't know what love is. I know better than you do, Alexis shot back. You married Mom for business connections, and look how that turned out. Maya loves me for who I am, not what I can do for her reputation. Robert Chen's expression turned to ice. Choose carefully, her, or everything I've given you. Alexis thought about her inheritance, her planned future at her father's company, the wealth and security she'd always taken for granted. Then she thought about Maya's smile, Maya's laugh, the way she'd held Alexis while she cried, the way she defended her without hesitation. You've given me money and expectations, Alexis said quietly. Maya's given me something you never have, love without conditions. That's an easy choice. Then you're no longer my heir. Effective immediately, you're cut off. No money, no company position, no trust fund. You're on your own. He walked out, and Alexis's carefully planned future evaporated. That evening, Maya found Alexis sitting in their secret spot behind the library, a hidden garden they'd discovered together. When Maya heard what happened, fury and anguish warred on her face. No. Alexis, no. You can't give up everything for me. That's your entire future. Your security, my father's vision of what my life should be. Alexis pulled Maya down to sit beside her. Not mine. He wanted me to be a robot CEO who married someone appropriate and produced appropriate heirs. I never wanted that. But what will you do? How will you pay for school? For college? I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. Alexis took Maya's hands. Maya, I spent years being who everyone else needed me to be. My father's perfect daughter. The school's perfect president. The girl who had it all together. I'm done. I choose me. I choose what makes me happy. I choose you. Are you sure? Maya's eyes glistened with tears. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Maya threw her arms around Alexis's neck, holding her tight. I love you so much. I love you too, and we'll figure everything else out together. The next morning, news of Robert Chin disowning his daughter spread through Hartwell like wildfire. Alexis braced for judgment and isolation. What happened instead shocked her. That night, Alexis sat alone on the cold floor of her dorm room, back against the bed, staring at nothing. The numbers didn't lie. Without her father's support, she had 11 weeks of personal savings. Tuition was due in 6 weeks. Her laptop, her clothes, the small comforts she'd built around herself. All of it suddenly felt borrowed, temporary, like she'd been living in someone else's life this whole time. Maya knocked softly and let herself in. She didn't say anything, just sat down beside her on the floor, shoulder to shoulder, the way she always did. Tell me the honest number, Maya said quietly. 11 weeks. Maya nodded slowly, didn't flinch, didn't offer false comfort. Okay, she said. Then we figured out. You can't fix this one. I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just not leaving. Alexis felt the tears come before she could stop them. Not dramatic, just quiet and exhausted. The kind of crying that happens when you've been holding something too heavy for too long. I keep thinking I made the wrong call, she whispered. Not about you. Never about you. But maybe I was reckless. Maybe I threw away something I can't rebuild. Maya took her hand and held it. Said nothing. Just held it. They sat like that for a long time. The next morning felt gray. Alexis went through her classes on autopilot, avoiding eye contact, bracing for the whispers to shift from sympathy to schadenfreude. The rich girl loses everything. Saw that coming. In the hallway after economics, a junior she barely knew stopped her. Hey, I just wanted to say, what did you do yesterday in the dining hall? I've been bullied since 7th grade. Nobody ever said that out loud for me. She looked at the floor. So, thank you. She walked away before Alexis could respond. Second period. A note slipped onto her desk in calculus. You protected my sister from Blake last year. We don't forget. By lunch, 3 more people had stopped her. Small moments. Quiet ones. Nothing that solved anything. Alexis sat with Maya and Victoria, picking at her food, still calculating. Victoria put her phone face down on the table. Don't look at this yet. What did you do? Something small. It might be nothing. Victoria shrugged, very deliberately casual. Eat first. You started a crowdfunding campaign, Alexis said. Not a question. I started a very small crowdfunding campaign. Victoria fell into step beside her, arms crossed, fighting a smile. That other people apparently had strong feelings about. Alexis stopped eating. How much? Enough. Victoria paused. 3 times your annual tuition, give or take. The number didn't compute immediately. Alexis sat there, blinking. People I've never spoken to donated, Victoria continued, her voice quieter now. I got messages from alumni, parents of current students. Someone from 3 graduating classes ago who said you helped their younger sibling through something in freshman year. You never even told me about that. I didn't think it mattered. That's exactly why it mattered. Victoria finally let herself smile properly. You spent 4 years quietly making this place better for people and never kept score. Turns out they were keeping it for you. Alexis leaned against the wall. Something in her chest cracked open, not painfully, just wide. I didn't do any of that expecting. I know. That's the whole point. A beat of silence. You could have told me at lunch, Alexis said finally, instead of sitting there looking smug. I wasn't looking smug. Victoria, I was looking quietly satisfied. There's a difference. She straightened up, smoothing her blazer. Also, the principal called me before you. I wanted to see your face when she told you. Worth it. Alexis laughed, the first real one in days. It surprised her the way it came out. Full and unguarded. Victoria watched her with something soft in her expression. You're allowed to let people love you, you know. You don't have to earn it every time. Alexis didn't answer, but she didn't look away either. The principal called her in with unexpected news. An alumna has offered to sponsor your education. Full scholarship, all expenses through graduation. She asked to remain anonymous but wanted me to tell you. True leaders inspire courage in others. You've done that. Alexis cried in the principal's office, overwhelmed by support she'd never expected. A few days later, Maya's parents drove up to meet the girl who'd turned their daughter's world upside down. Alexis was terrified, but Maya held her hand the entire time. When Mr. and Mrs. Santos walked into the cafe, Alexis stood nervously. Mr. Santos studied her for a long moment. Then his face broke into a huge smile. Lily? Little Lily Chin? Is that really you? The recognition, the warmth, the instant acceptance. Alexis nearly collapsed with relief. Mrs. Santos pulled her into a tight hug. We always wondered what happened to you after you moved. Maya talked about you constantly. We hoped you girls would reconnect someday. She pulled back, eyes twinkling. Though we expected it to be as friends, not this. I hope that's okay, Alexis said nervously. Are you kidding? You made our daughter happier than we've seen her in years. You're welcome in our home anytime. Both of you are. They spent 2 hours talking, catching up, and sharing stories. Mr. and Mrs. Santos treated Alexis like family, asking about her plans, offering support, making it clear she had a place with them. When they left, Alexis turned to Maya with tears in her eyes. Your parents actually like me. They love you, almost as much as I do. Maya kissed her softly. See? We're going to be okay. Better than okay. By the end of the month, their lives had transformed in unexpected ways. The anonymous scholarship meant Alexis could finish Hartwell without financial stress. Maya's parents had essentially adopted her, inviting her to their home for holidays and weekends. Victoria and Maya's friends formed a protective circle around them, shutting down gossip and supporting them openly. Alexis discovered that losing her father's money also meant losing his control. For the first time in years, she could choose her own path. That evening, in their garden sanctuary, Maya showed Alexis her latest painting. It depicted 2 girls, one in a business suit, one in casual clothes, standing together under stars, clearly in love. Us, Maya explained. Our real story. The beginning. Not the beginning, Alexis corrected, pulling Maya close. The continuation. We started this story when we were 9. We're just writing a new chapter. They kissed as the sun set, wrapped in each other, finally together after 10 years of separation. A few weeks later, Alexis got an unexpected call from a number she didn't recognize. Alexis? It's your mom. She hadn't heard from her mother in over 3 years. Her mother had disappeared into addiction after the divorce, and Alexis had eventually stopped trying to maintain contact. I saw the news about your father disowning you, her mother said quietly. And I wanted you to know. I'm proud of you. Alexis's throat tightened. I know I don't have the right to say that. I wasn't there when you needed me. I chose drugs over my daughter, and I'll regret that for the rest of my life. Her voice cracked. But I've been sober for 8 months now. I'm in recovery. I'm trying to put my life back together. And seeing you choose love over money, authenticity over appearances, you're braver than I ever was. Mom, I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I'm here now. If you ever want to talk, to try to rebuild what I destroyed, I'd like that. But I understand if you can't. Alexis looked at Maya, who nodded encouragingly. I'd like to try, Alexis said softly. It won't be easy and I can't promise anything, but I'd like to try. Her mother's sob of relief echoed through the phone. Over the following months, Alexis slowly rebuilt a relationship with her mother. It was tentative, fragile, filled with difficult conversations and painful honesty. But her mother stayed sober, showed up consistently, and genuinely tried to make amends. Maya was there for every hard conversation, every step forward and backward, steady and supportive. You're allowed to give her a second chance, Maya reminded her once. People can change. Look at how much you changed. What if she disappoints me again? Then you'll survive it, like you've survived everything else. But what if she doesn't? What if this is real? It was real. Slowly, painfully, beautifully real. By winter formal, Alexis and Maya were the school's most talked about couple. Not from scandal, but from admiration. They'd faced down judgment, family rejection, and financial ruin, and come out stronger together. Alexis wore a burgundy suit. Maya wore a midnight blue dress. When they entered the ballroom hand in hand, the room went quiet. Then applause started. Victoria first, then spreading through the crowd until everyone was clapping for the girls who'd chosen love over everything else. Later that night, slow dancing with Maya in her arms, Alexis felt peace she'd never experienced before. I have something for you, she whispered. She pulled out a small velvet box. Inside were 2 delicate silver rings, engraved with coordinates. What are these numbers? Maya asked. The location of my childhood home, where we first met, where our story began. Alexis's hands shook slightly. It's not an engagement ring. We're too young for that. But it's a promise that I'll never lose you again, that I'll choose you every day, that our future is together. Always together, Maya agreed, tears streaming down her face. Yes, to all of it, yes. They exchanged the rings, sealing promises that felt sacred and unbreakable. The rest of senior year passed in a blur of happiness, hard work, and hope. Alexis started a blog about body image, eating disorders, and finding authentic self-worth. It went viral. Within months, she had sponsorship offers and speaking invitations. Maya's art portfolio earned her scholarships to multiple universities. They both got accepted to the same college, not by coincidence, but because their dreams had aligned. Alexis's mother completed her first year of sobriety. Their relationship was still healing, but it was real and growing stronger. Even Robertson reached out once stiffly to say he was reconsidering his position. Alexis politely told him she was open to dialogue when he was ready to accept her fully, girlfriend included. He hung up without responding, but it was something. Graduation day arrived sunny and warm. Alexis gave the valedictorian speech about courage, authenticity, and choosing love over fear. Her eyes kept finding Maya in the audience, her anchor, her home. Afterward, in their secret garden one last time before leaving Hartwell, Maya showed Alexis a final painting. It showed their entire journey. Two little girls holding hands, separated by distance, transformed by pain, and finally reunited under stars. Our story, Maya said. Our story so far, Alexis corrected. We're just getting started. That evening, they packed up Alexis's dorm room together. Victoria would be their roommate at their new apartment near campus. The three of them had decided to live together, a chosen family. As they carried boxes to the car, Maya took Alexis's hand. Any regrets? Alexis thought about everything she'd lost, her inheritance, her father's approval, the future that had been planned for her. Then she thought about everything she'd gained. Maya's love, her mother's recovery, authenticity, freedom, and herself. Not even one. Their first year of college was everything they'd hoped for. They studied hard, built their careers, supported each other's dreams. Alexis's advocacy work expanded. Maya's art gained recognition. They hosted their first Thanksgiving in their tiny apartment, crowded with Maya's parents, Alexis's mother, Victoria, and close friends. The table was too small, the apartment too cramped, but it was perfect. Alexis's mother pulled her aside while Maya was showing off her latest artwork. I was terrified when I heard you'd given up your father's money for Maya, she admitted. I thought you were making a huge mistake. Alexis's stomach tightened. But seeing you now, you're happier than I've ever seen you. You're yourself. Fully, completely yourself. Her mother squeezed her hand. You didn't give up everything for a girl. You gave up the wrong things to find the right ones. I'm so proud of you. They hugged tightly, both crying, healing together. 5 years later, the Alexis Chin Foundation for Body Positivity Youth Support had helped over 10,000 young people. Alexis had written a best-selling memoir. Maya's art was displayed in galleries across the country. They'd built a life together, not the one that had been planned for them, but the one they'd chosen for themselves. At the Foundation's annual gala, Alexis gave a speech that brought the audience to tears. Maya's art installation, pieces created by the teens their foundation supported, served as the powerful centerpiece. Senator Patricia Morrison attended, Blake's mother, who became one of their biggest supporters after Blake's expulsion forced her to confront her own failures as a parent. You too have built something remarkable, the senator told them. Thank you for showing me what real integrity looks like. That night, after the gala ended, Alexis led Maya to the rooftop garden of their apartment building, a space they'd cultivated together, their new sanctuary. Candles flickered. String lights twinkled. Champagne chilled in a bucket. What's all this? Maya asked eyes wide. A celebration. And a question. Alexis took both Maya's hands, her heart racing. We've been together for 5 years. We have known each other for basically our entire lives. Built a foundation, a home, a future together. She knelt down on one knee, pulling out a small velvet box. Maya gasped. Maya Santos, you've been my best friend, my first love, my only love. You saw through my walls when I'd convinced myself I was untouchable. You chose me when I'd been rejected by everyone else. You taught me that I deserved to be loved exactly as I am. Tears streamed down Maya's face. Will you marry me? Will you let me spend the rest of my life choosing you, loving you, building our dreams together? Yes. Maya sobbed, laughing and crying. Yes, always yes. Alexis slid the ring onto her finger with shaking hands. Then Maya pulled her up into a kiss that tasted like champagne and forever. 8 months later, they married in a restored garden, the same garden from their childhood neighborhood, now maintained by the community as a public space. The ceremony was intimate and perfect. Victoria stood as Alexis's best woman. Maya's sister stood beside her. Both sets of parents attended, even Robert Chin, who'd slowly begun the difficult work of accepting his daughter. When they exchanged vows, Alexis's voice was strong and sure. When we were 9, you asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I said I wanted to be brave like you. Today, I can finally say I've achieved that dream, not because I became brave, but because loving you taught me what courage really means. Maya's vows made everyone cry. I spent 10 years searching for you without knowing it, looking for that feeling of home in every person I met. Now I know home is never a place. It was always you, and I'm so grateful I found my way back. At the reception, held at a beautiful venue donated by one of their foundation supporters, they danced their first dance as wives. The song was the same one from Hartwell's Winter Formal, now laden with even more meaning. Any regrets? Maya whispered, echoing the question she'd asked years ago. Alexis looked around at their friends, their family, their community who'd supported them through everything. She looked at the woman in her arms, her best friend, her wife, her home. My only regret is the time we lost. But even that taught us to appreciate what we have now. We survived the worst to reach the best, Maya agreed. And now we get forever. 10 years after college graduation, they stood at Hartwell Academy as invited speakers for the commencement ceremony. Alexis was now a renowned activist and author. Maya was a celebrated artist and art therapist. Looking out at the graduates, Alexis saw herself at 18, scared, transformed, teetering on the edge of choosing truth or safety. I stood here 15 years ago and told you about courage, she began, about choosing authenticity over expectations. At the time, I thought I'd already made the hardest choice of my life. She paused, finding Maya standing in the wings. I was wrong. The hard part wasn't choosing love once. It was choosing it every single day after. When my father disowned me, when people judged us, when building our foundation felt impossible, when the world told us we were too young, too idealistic, too different. Her voice strengthened, but we chose love anyway, and that choice built everything meaningful in our lives. Our foundation that's helped over 50,000 young people, our family, our impact on this world, our unshakable partnership. She looked directly at the graduates. So, my advice is this. When you face the choice between who people want you to be and who you truly are, choose truth. When you face the choice between easy success and meaningful struggle, choose purpose. And when you face the choice between safety and love, choose love every single time. It will be the hardest thing you ever do and the most worthwhile. The crowd rose in a standing ovation. That evening, walking through Hartwell's campus one last time, Maya took Alexis's hand, the same gesture from 15 years ago. Do you remember what I asked you when we left Hartwell the first time? If you had any regrets? I remember everything about that day, Alexis said softly. And now, after everything we've built and survived. Alexis stopped walking, turning to face her wife fully. She thought about the scared 17-year-old she'd been, giving up her inheritance for a girl. She'd thought she was losing everything. She'd actually been choosing it for the first time. Now I know the truth, Alexis said, pulling Maya close. The only future worth having was always the one with you. They kissed under the same stars that had witnessed their reunion, their first kiss, their promise rings, their wedding. Two girls who'd loved each other first as children, lost each other as strangers, and found each other as soulmates. Two girls who'd built a life that proved love wasn't just about surviving the world's resistance, but thriving because of the strength that resistance built in them. Together, always together, forever. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more GL love stories. Share your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one, besties. Remember, choosing love is always worth it. Choosing yourself is always brave. And you deserve a love that sees you, accepts you, and chooses you every single day, exactly as you are. Until next time, keep loving fearlessly. Red Heart.